Guys, Nikki here. Happy Sunday evening. So this is my third update after dropping my thyroid medication, and today is day 12. I wanted to go over a little bit how my week went and delve into a little bit more about how things have kind of changed, how I felt not being on some of my supplements, and kind of what the supplements do in general. I think it's important that you know why I'm taking what I'm taking, and in hopes of maybe there's some kind of ailment or weird thing that you're dealing with, that some of the supplements that I was taking might possibly be an indication that you're deficient in something. Last week was interesting because when I have my daughter, things change. Things get much more chaotic. And I think it's kind of interesting because you think that when your child's not with you, that you would worry more about them. Say if they're sleeping over somewhere or you have no idea what their whereabouts are, and you think you would be extremely anxious and worried about them all the time. But for me, it's the opposite. When she's here, I'm more worried, more, thinking about where she is, how she's doing. She changes her schedule all the time. One minute she's coming home on the bus, the next minute she's gonna go hang out with friends. 1 minute she's pulling all-nighters, the next morning she's asking me to wake her up at 5:30. So not only was I going through that all week last week, having to get up at 5:30 to try to help her, hey Vaughn, wake her up, hi Dan, and all of that, I just started my period, so went through this week of being in a luteal phase where you're more tired, you need more carbs, your body just wants to rest and relax, and a week when should be a little bit more calm and easygoing, it seems that's when stress wants to be at the absolute highest. Yes, my crazy girl is always keeping me on my toes. And so it's kind of hard to differentiate what's doing what. So I believe that the thyroid medication is now fully out of my system. As I mentioned before, the half-life is 2.5 days. I have not done the exact calculation, so I really don't know. But I should be at a spot where my thyroid's now starting to reboot and hopefully making its own thyroid stimulating hormone, and I'm getting all the brain signals to say, oh, your body needs more, you're deficient, let's start making more so that we can get our system going and get back to some sort of homeostatic set point. But while I decided to come off the medication, I decided to come off of my supplements as well, because again, I want a clean slate. I want to be able to get my labs done and say, okay, where am I actually at? What do I actually need going forward? What's my body deficient in? What is my body, producing well of? How do I need to change my diet? And then what supplements can I bring back in to kind of supersede where I'm at and to get me to that level of optimal health that I really want to be at. So energy levels were, again, they're low, but they're relatively stable. Right now I'm eating 3 times a day, and usually I will have a coffee with my second meal, which ends up being like a cappuccino. Yesterday I actually had 2 decaf pods, and last night my daughter's back with her dad, so I slept like the dead last night. It was great. I probably got like 10 straight hours of sleep. Very, very, very much needed. But it's not enough. I feel like I still need more. I feel like I still need recovery from being the week off from having Raven, and then dealing with the hormonal shifts of this part of my menstrual cycle. So now that I started my period, hopefully those progesterone will be back down, estrogen starting to come back up, and I have that stable level of testosterone to help keep me even keel. So hopefully this week I'll feel a little bit better. Overall training is going great. Still super strong. I do get a little bit winded towards the end. I do about 30 minutes of cardio 4 to 5 days a week after I train. I've noticed that my ability to push harder in cardio is definitely coming down. I'm just trying to listen to the cues that my body's giving to me just to ensure that I'm recovering. I'm not overdoing it. I'm not in bodybuilding anymore. I'm not looking to get on stage right now. I'm not looking to be 10% body fat. I'm looking to heal my body, get my hormones back in order, and then start losing some body fat again. It's been interesting because as of Friday morning, I had dropped almost 4 pounds, which is miraculous to me. So diet hasn't really changed. Calories are pretty much the same every day. I'll shift my macros depending on my training and if I'm working out or not. But I'm really happy about that. I don't see huge changes in my physique. I can see that I'm a little bit less puffy, like my skin feels a little bit better. My waist is a little bit tighter, but nothing overly dramatic, quite yet. But again, I'm just trying to recover and reboot, heal my body through food, let my body get some much needed rest from this medication that I've been on for way too long. And then, at some point in the next 6 weeks, I can make a little bit harder dive into more fat loss once I really know what's going on. But I wanted to cover some of my supplements if you guys want to hang in there with me a little bit longer. I mentioned some of the things that I was taking, but I kind of want to go over why. So you guys know that perhaps at some point, like I said, you'd want to possibly get on something, or it might cue you as to why you're feeling a certain way. And I have my computer here, so I'm going to be looking over. But fish oil was one of the ones that I've been on and off for years and years and years. It is, if you get a high quality omega-3 fish oil supplement, it is awesome for reducing inflammation. Now, there's a fine line here because inflammation is important for the body. Inflammation gives signals to your body if you are hurt, you're cut, if there's an injury. Inflammation is going to tell us that there's something wrong. So some level of that is allowing us to know that our body is in a state of healing. So it's still a beneficial process. But it's when it's overzealous, when you have too much stress, when you're pushing your body too hard, when you have an acute injury that's not healing well because you're not eating right. If something's going on where your heart is, you're starting at a level of heart disease, and you're starting to get palpitations, you're starting to get some chest pain. There's all kinds of various things, or circulation where you're swelling in your legs and your feet. So those are all indications that something's wrong, and it's a beneficial process. But where it becomes too much, then you know that something needs to change. So that's one awesome thing about fish oil, is to kind of keep a more stable. The omega-3s balance out your other omegas. You have 6, 9, and I believe 7. And your body has a necessary balance of those omegas in order to function at its optimal level. One other thing that I really liked about fish oil is my eyesight. And it actually made my eyes better. That in combination with just eating well, as I always do. But one of the things that I really noticed was increasing fish oil definitely helped my eyes. The last time I went to the doctor, my eyes improved. I got to reduce my contacts and my glasses prescription. And I was very, very happy with that. I think I'll go back at some point this year to see where I'm at, and then that will also help me be an indication if I want to get back on it for those reasons as well. You do have to be careful because fish oil can actually thin the blood, which is awesome to help with blood pressure because it allows your body to circulate blood a lot easier. If you're, having issues with blood pressure, and again, please, not again, I didn't say this yet, but, talk to your doctor, ask them about the supplementation, do your due diligence and make sure you get cleared because some of these things can interact with some of the medications you are on. But fish oil is touted to help decrease blood pressure because it does have that element of thinning the blood and will help with the circulation. It will allow your heart not to work quite as hard to move blood all through your body. So that's why I was taking the fish oil. And one of the things that I've added that I actually have not taken before was a multi-mineral pill. When Derek and I were talking about, okay, why is this medication not working? Okay, well, maybe my gut's not absorbing things the way it should. Maybe the medication's not getting where it's supposed to go. It's at some point in my, digestive system, I'm not absorbing everything that I can absorb out of this medication. So we went on a multi-mineral pill. What's important about multi-minerals is that our food these days, our soil is not great, and it's lacking so many of the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that are essential for human life. And if you're not able to get these fresh vegetables or meats, and you're more on a higher processed grain packaged food type of diet, a multi-mineral might actually help you to get as many nutrients as you can, to help make up a little bit of what your diet is. So some of the few that I had picked out specifically that are extremely important one is selenium. And selenium is one of those minerals that is hard to find. Supposedly Brazil nuts are high in selenium, but the problem with nuts and seeds is that we don't break these foods down very well. And the actual amount of selenium that we're getting from that is probably very, very, very low. If you are on a more animal-based diet, getting in, any sort of ruminant animal meat, you're going to be able to get enough selenium. But if you're not, it's very crucial for reproduction, especially thyroid function and DNA production as well. And given the thyroid issues that I have, that was extremely important for me to get in enough selenium. I think with my current diet now, I'm taking in a shit ton of beef. I don't think that's an issue. But again, the multi-mineral has many of them in there to help make sure that I'm absorbing what I'm taking in. Chromium is another really, really good mineral that many, many people may not know about. It actually enhances the action of insulin. So for those of you who are, getting your blood work done and your fasting glucose or your hemoglobin A1C are kind of on the fritz, you're starting to see some trends going up. It's in your dieting and you're doing all the things. It could be that you don't have enough chromium. And what chromium is going to do is going to enhance the action of insulin to actually help you regulate your blood sugar better. And then in turn, if you can regulate your blood sugar better, you're going to see some weight loss along with that. Zinc is another one. Zinc is necessary for all cells throughout the body. As most people know, what do we take when we get sick? We're taking zinc, vitamin C, echinacea. Those are probably the highest ones. I think now elderberry is a big one for immune function. But for the actual mineral that our bodies need, that's what you would extract from a multi-mineral, and you can get that again in animal-based foods. But zinc is also really, really important for immune function. If you're sick, if you're not feeling well, if allergy season's coming up, you might want to add in a little bit of zinc to strengthen that area. And copper is an interesting one because you never think that you would need copper. And don't quote me on this because I'm not sure, but copper is also, I'm not sure if it's zinc. It just hit me now that copper is crucial to be in balance with another mineral. I will look it up, you guys, because I really don't remember. But copper is also essential to be in combination with another mineral, so I will look that up. But copper has antioxidant properties, and it's needed for respiratory enzymes and development of red blood cells. So that's another one that I had in my multi-mineral that I felt that was really important for me. I was on Magnesium Breakthrough. One thing I love about Magnesium Breakthrough, that's the actual name of the supplement, is it has 7 different kinds of magnesium. You have like threonate, glycinate, what's the other one? You have the one for your digestive system. It covers all grounds of what magnesium can do. And magnesium is probably the most needed of all of them, of all the vitamins that you could possibly ever need. Magnesium is the one that's most deficient in our foods, the one that we're not getting in enough in our foods, and it is a vital one. It's going to help with your sleep. It's going to help with mental health. It's going to help with digestion. It really covers so many functions. So if you guys are, again, trying all the things, trying to set your alarm clocks, getting rid of the caffeine too late, not eating too late, getting, your walks in, getting fresh air, you might be, deficient in magnesium. However, I believe I was taking too much magnesium. So not only was I taking magnesium in that supplement, I was also taking magnesium in the multi-mineral, and I was also taking Element, which is an electrolyte powder. So needless to say, the bathroom wasn't so much fun. I think I was on like a 4-week streak of not having a normally formed stool. And I'm like, well, I know this vitamin is essential, but I think I'm getting in too much. And since I've actually stopped the magnesium and I only do Element maybe once every few days, that bowel movements have definitely been a lot better. And that's another sign of health, you guys. If there's a change in consistency, how many times you're going, even the color, you guys have to start looking into those things. And one of the things I did notice was that sometimes my bowel movements were green, and that can be an indication that my food's not getting processed. It will turn green if things are going through your system way too fast and you're not absorbing what needs to be absorbed. And that can be an indication of having some sort of gut issue. And since stopping all the magnesium, the color has changed. And I'm not taking in any vegetables or anything. I'm not taking anything in that's green. And so to me, that just indicates that my body was just, things were going through my system too fast and I wasn't able to absorb them all. So that's what happens on the other end. If you end up taking too much of something, you can have some negative side effects. And that's, definitely been a lot better. And I think, with decreasing the thyroid med, it runs your metabolism, right? That also affects your digestive system. So when one thing slows down, everything slows down. And that's why thyroid is so, so crucial to all of our bodily functions, because it runs us. It makes us do what things are supposed to do. And just to, go right up with that is iodine, right? So that's what our thyroid is made out of, is iodine. And again, another mineral that's not present in our foods, only if you're getting highly processed crap. If you're eating pastas and chips and cereals and all these things that are fortified with iodine, you may not be deficient. But then on the other hand, you're getting obese and on the brink of having high cholesterol and high glucose and joint pain, a whole host of other things. So in trying to eat as clean as possible, there are going to be things that are going to be missing. The problem with iodine is that it can actually be harmful for people who have Hashimoto's. Hashimoto's is a thyroid immune disorder. And I'm still in the middle of doing a lot of research for these things. So as I learn more, I'll be able to explain these in more depth. But on one hand, iodine is very essential for all processes and tissues and cells. But with Hashimoto's, there's something with taking iodine that could actually be harmful. When I go and get blood work again, I will get tested for Hashimoto's to see if I have the autoimmune disorder. So for now, I definitely wanted to stop that because I don't want to do any more harm. What I believed what I was doing was beneficial can actually, have a reverse effect, because if I do have the autoimmune disorder, I can possibly be doing more harm than good. So it was just best for me to stop that altogether. Before I got off my thyroid medication, and again, energy levels were low, maybe some possible sad depression. We don't have very many sunny days here. It's raining all the time. It's cold. And, having that type of seasonal depression, you're not getting light, you're not getting vitamin D, you're not getting anything. And so I was like, well, let me try a vitamin D supplement. In general, my skin color is, more olive, a little bit darker. So I've always been kind of low in vitamin D because as I'm in the sun more, my melanocytes get darker, and that's protective in nature, right? So the more melanocytes you have, so for dark skinned people, those rays can't penetrate through. You can't get vitamin D in because you have this protective barrier of color. And that's why you'll see many darker skinned people do have deficiencies in vitamin D, because they can't absorb the UV rays from the sun. And so you have to go by means of taking supplementation. And the vitamin D did help, actually. I was taking, I think, 5 or 6 IU every morning in the form of drops. And again, I decided to stop that too. I'm taking in lots of, animal-based products that are high in vitamin D. And again, if I'm low, you guys. I want to know that. I want to start over and know exactly what I need and take it in the right amount and not just wing it. So yeah, those are the supplements that I've been taking and the results of me being off of them so far. I can't, aside from the magnesium, I can't really tell otherwise. One thing I have noticed, when I go too high in fish oil, I bruise more easily. I don't really bruise easily, but I will actually bruise when I take too much fish oil. Or when I'm taking my testosterone injections. I do intramuscular IMs for that. I'll bleed more, because sometimes I can have a clean shot. Sometimes when I take it, like if I pull out the needle a certain way, I'll start to bleed, and I'll notice that if my fish oil is high, and I do bleed, it's like running down my arm. And so that's one thing I'll notice, that I'll clot a little bit faster when I'm off the fish oil. But yeah, so 12 days in, I'm doing okay. I don't think there's much else that I really noticed. I did have a caffeinated a cappuccino today. Today, most of my check-ins come in, and I really want to dive into my work in a little bit, get some more check-ins done, and I just want to make sure that I'm alert. I might take a hit tonight. It would be amazing if I could have the same sleep tonight that I had last night, and all through this week until I get my crazy girl back on Friday. I will have her for 2 weeks this next round. Hopefully I can get some reserves of energy and sleep before she gets back, and we can, it won't be such a difficult time. But overall, I'm doing well. I hope you guys enjoy these updates, and I appreciate you being on the journey with me. I'll probably get on here at some point towards the end of the week. I have some cool stuff coming up. I am going to be doing an interview on Thursday with my friend Dante. He runs a YouTube channel, and I believe it's called On the Other Side of Things. And he's here in Rhode Island with me, and has been just doing interviews with different people, different businesses, just kind of exposing, Rhode Island to the world. We are a small state. To be frank, the state is not in the greatest of conditions when it comes to anything. And it's just nice to see that there are some businesses here and people here that are doing some good things. And I'm excited to do that. I don't know when it's going to be out, but I'm excited to jump on with him and just kind of share my story. And we'll see what happens. All right, guys, I hope you all had a wonderful, safe weekend. I will be back on here at some point. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.